Welcome to part 2 of the Great Guitar Build-Off entry for the Freestyle competition, building a Mandola. In the previous video, we joined up the back, top, and the head plate and prepared the scarf joint on the neck. In this video, we will be working on the neck some more and then creating the mold so that we can begin bending the sides. Scarf joint is dry. We've unclamped it, and now what we're doing is we're going to make this peg head flush. There's definitely some tool marks, so I'm just going to take a hand plane and slowly but surely work my way down. Until this is nice and flat. Finish that up. The next step we have is to take our design, which I have cut out along the edges. I need to make a template to hold the sides while they bend. So it's like a form. It's probably 2 or 3 sheets of plywood glued together. And that's the next step, is to make that. I have the forms made up, bending forms made up. I've got my cutout. The center line, there's 2 sections. This is 3 sheets of 3/4 inch or 18 millimeter plywood. And I'm just going to take the form, I'm going to trace the shape. At this point, I'm not going to trace. I'm going to put 2 dots and connect them with a ruler. I don't trust my cutting the paper. This free-form area is not so bad. It's not as critical as getting that neck joint nice and perpendicular to the center line. So we have the shape. When the glue dries, what we will do is we will cut out this inside piece. And then we have the 2 halves. We'll be able to bend our sides and fit them in. At this point, we're ready to cut out the inside shape of the mold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay inside the line, and then I'm going to use, we'll sand it to its final dimension. We have this side cut out. Now we just need to go cut out the other side, and then we'll sand these smooth. At this point, it's looking pretty good. Critical parts are matched up. We've just got to go in and finish fairing up these parts where I couldn't get in with the sander, and we'll just do that with a rasp. So I've got the rasp, and I'm just going to shave down to the line. One of the things I'm doing as I go along here is making sure that the sides are perpendicular to the edges. It's very important, especially at the head block, that the sides are totally perpendicular. Otherwise you'll have neck alignment issues. So my forms look pretty good. I guess I had my bandsaw tuned fairly well. Always take time and tune your bandsaw. It makes life a lot easier. So we're good. The forms are almost ready to go. There we go. We've got enough angles to put some clamps on when we bend the sides. So I've taken the sides and I've jointed them, and I've ripped them down to 3 inches wide. That's the depth I'm looking for for the Mandola. Now these sides were book matched. I've sanded them down to 0.075, which will be a good thickness for bending. You can almost bend now, which is good. Don't want them too thin or you'll have problems. But they're sanded. I'm going to cut the ends square. I'm going to have to bend a couple of different ways. So I'm going to have one piece that's going to come around to here, and that is going to be one piece. I'll cut off the piece to go straight across, and then I'll have another piece to curve in here, probably come halfway across this front edge. That's going to be all hidden by the neck, so I'll have a seam there, but what it allows me to do is it allows me to keep these boards book matched all the way up the neck. So it'll be one piece to bend here, straight piece there, a slight bend there, slight bend there, and one piece here. This will be a separate piece. These separate pieces will be attached using glue blocks. I'll shape some mahogany blocks to fit in these corners. The neck block will actually join that up, and we'll have a block there. Then what we'll do is we'll do some binding. The binding will come down the side. So what I want to do now is I've got these guys matched up. I'm going to match them up end to end, and I'm going to mark them. I'm going to mark them for the top so that they both face in the same direction. So this is going to be up. This is going to be where they meet at the tail block. And then I need to measure how long each segment needs to be. And I'll leave a little extra. We'll eventually cut that off because of the way the form is. I have to have the overlap here in the middle, but we're going to have a centerpiece, so if they're not a perfect match, it's not the end of the world. So what I'll do is I'll cut this length from this piece, this length from this piece, and we'll get ready to get started. So to measure how much I need, I'm just going to use a string. I'm going to follow the contour. Just lay the string on the contour right inside here. Put it right up against the edge. From the left side, I'm going to mark it the length of that string. Then I'm going to do it again and double check. Got my miter box. I'm going to lay this piece in using a cross-cut saw. Cut right at that point. This one is ready to bend. Heat up the bending iron and see how it goes. So I've begun bending the sides. What I did is I sprayed them with water. Let the water soak in a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm working my way to get this curve first. Mostly because I can't fit that with this being straight. So the bending iron is still getting to temperature, but I'm actually slowly but surely getting the wood to bend. as you do this, it's going to dry out, so you got to keep spritzing it with some water. It's definitely a slow process. You don't want to rush this because the wood will crack. And I'm wearing gloves to protect my hands if I accidentally touch the bending iron because it is extremely hot. And you can see how nicely the wood bends once you get that steam going. Okay, so with a little finessing, we now have the first bend done. I made a caul out of the cutoff so that we can hold this to shape. The other two pieces that go in here, we'll take care of those. We want to let this guy dry up, and then I'll be able to bend the other pieces. Now I'm going to work on the other side. Got the right side all done. Made a caul for this bend. Caul for the interior. It's holding its shape very nicely. Gonna let this dry probably for a couple days, let it get all the moisture out, and in the meantime I'll continue. Got to make the blocks, the neck block, the tail block. Have to make the blocks for those corners that we've got to glue together, and then we'll be ready to start actually assembling the body. We're also going to move to the neck, and got to cut the truss rod channel in the neck and prepare the fingerboard.